All right, now we can share. But every time you're on to something, this is something I always teach people that I'm just teaching, that you're going to come up against some type of opposition and fear, and my babysitter canceled on me and I got sick and all these things. And so I want to just start today by like acknowledging the win. That's something that in my leadership, in my journey, I'm working on, focusing on what is working in my life. What are people doing that's good, and not what's the gaps, what's missing, what am I not doing, what am I failing at? So who can relate? Like how, like think of how you go through life. Are you constantly like, yeah, I'm killing it today, I did awesome? Or are you like, I didn't get this done, dang, I forgot that, oh, I suck at this. My husband or my significant other, he never does this, he's always doing that, focusing on the negative. It's kind of a common thing, but this is one of the rules of them that's not in my 10 commandments, that it can kind of come up in one of them, but it's just something that I want to open up with, acknowledging that we get to celebrate the wins, because the more what we focus on grows. So the more you get to start your day, and in your day acknowledging the ups and the gratitude, the more you're going to grow those situations. So I want to acknowledge each and every one of you guys for being here, because I know that you, excuse me, you overcame so many obstacles just to be on this line. You took a lunch break at a different time. You asked someone to help you with your kids. You gave up something else that you could be doing with your time, but you chose yourself. And here's the thing. When you do self-work, which is the best work you could ever do, which is why if you are on my email list and you got the invitation to today, one of the things I said was, I've got the answer to all of your problems. Because when you work on yourself, you learn how to focus on fixing your money, how to focus on fixing your parenting, your relationships, your friendships, your career. Everything changes when you change. So I love the quote, people change when you do. And so that's what this is all about. It's about you taking on yourself and looking inward for the answers, because everything you need to solve every single problem you're facing right now, no matter what it is right inside of you. I promise you that. And that can be inspiring. Like we just finished this money challenge, and they talked about how your money is a direct reflection of your self-worth. And I'm like, crap, my money sucks right now. Like literally this past week, I was in overdraft and a maxed out credit card. So what does that say? I don't know if that says I just love myself so much, I just spend all this money, or if that says I'm a mess and I don't have structure and I need to get my stuff together. But whatever it means, it was really exciting to me that I have the power to work on myself to fix my money. So whatever you're here today, I want you to just close your eyes if you're able to. We're going to ground into jumping right into this. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to just think of inhaling and exhaling and coming to this present moment. And I want you to start inhaling just an open heart and an open mind to receive what could be the one thing that literally changes your life today. Like literally open up for that. Ask the universe for that. And remember, I use universe because God created the universe and he put everything in it for our abundance and our overflow. And it is available to each and every one of us. So I want you to keep your eyes closed and inhale all the possibilities of what if this was the moment that your relationship turned around? What if this was the moment that your finances were improving and just like having a quantum leap in like abundance? What if this is the moment that you stop feeling like a guilty, not good enough mother and an actual connected, loving, present mother? Exhale whatever it was that you had to overcome to be here today. Exhale all of the technical difficulties we accomplished. You might have been judging me of like, oh, who is this girl going to teach me about my life when she can't even get her life together and tell the right time, or the right, get her recording set up on time. So exhale all the judgments of yourself, all your judgments of me, of other people. I'm just the messenger. You're going to take today what you want to take. And I have already set the prayers and intention that you're going to receive exactly what your heart and soul needs. So without me doing all the talking, I'm going to inhale and exhale with you guys because I want to set my intention. My intention for you guys today is that I leave you better than I found you. That's my only intention. My intention is that you came here with some brokenness that you're looking for answers to, and you're leaving with a little bit more wholeness and feeling like you're more equipped to take on your life, whatever you're facing. So we're going to inhale possibilities and exhale all the things that are holding us back and blocking us, because everything is right inside of us. So when you're ready, we're going to jump right in. And I want to just share that this masterclass today is for you, I hope. And it's for you if you're somebody who is eager to learn, to develop, who's open-minded to learning something that you either already know and you just need to validate that I needed to hear that again, or to learn something that you've never heard before or from another perspective, and you're ready to actually do the work. So when I first started doing this type of work, I was just happy that someone was listening. But now I'm like, I want people who are going to not only listen, but are going to go and apply, and who are going to actually be like, oh my gosh, because I implemented those 10 commandments, my life leaped into this direction because of XYZ. And so this is for you if you're ready, able, and willing to not only be open-minded to learn and receive information, but to take yourself on and actually apply it. In church on Sunday night, we went to the healing service because we're really asking God for healing for my daughter who has severe allergies and eczema. And one of the things that the pastor said, and now I don't remember the term he used, but he said that a small percentage of God's miracles happen out of just like God's provision. Like he just does it out of not the kindness of his heart, because his heart is so pure, but like he just does it just to do it. But the rest of miracles, most prayers get answered by the person who's willing to sacrifice. And I don't know your faith, but if you're like a Bible, like faith-based Christian or whatever base, where you think of the Bible, think of all the stories in the Bible that but where God shows that he asked for a sacrifice, and he showed that like you need to bring a lamb to the altar, you need to come here, you need to kill your child, you need to, like, there was all these major sacrifices. And then when I read the Bible, I have a hard time with like, I could never do that stuff. Like I just think about that. But bring it to current days and think of how freaking hard it is. You probably already know what you get to do in order to change your life, but it's so hard to do it. Let me give you some examples. For me, getting up at 5 a.m. would change my life, because I would be able to do work that I can't do when my kids are awake. I would be able to work out, because right now I'm not working out because working out is not at the top of my priority list. And it should be. I really want to work out, but I'm just so engulfed in what I'm working on that I'm not willing to commit my extra hour or two to working out. Not eating sugar. So right now, my husband and I just committed 2 days ago. We have so much transition happening in our finances, in our careers, in our household. We need healing for our daughter. We want to know, are we done having kids? Are we going to have a boy? Are we not going to have a boy? Are we going to have more? Are we going to adopt? Like just financial things, family things. We've got a lot of crap going on in our family. Like there's a lot of stuff happening all at once. And we finally surrendered to our knees and said, you know what, God, we cannot do this in our own. I cannot do this by organic eating. I cannot do this by attending another conference. I cannot do this by paying someone to help me. I need you, God. I need you to intervene. And so I realized, he literally like spoke to me, it's sacrifice. And that's what I realized was the one thing that I feel like is missing in what I'm teaching the people that I work with, is what are you willing to give up? Because we all can say we want a better relationship, we want to be healthier, we want blah blah, we want more money. I want more money. I want to stop being in overdraft. I'm literally running, I just finished a money challenge, teaching and learning how to get my money together. And yet in the same week that it aired, I'm in overdraft and maxed out a credit card. It's because I'm not willing. I'm going to get a facial today. I'm going to get my hair done this weekend. Like, I'm not willing to give up a lot of things that are putting me in overdraft. So what are you willing to give up that you're going to sacrifice to get what you really want? That's the question of who this is for. So to kind of go into my story, whatever it takes. I love that. So here's what I'm going to share with you, because this is like where it takes me to how I came up with these 10 things is basically like you are either going to change who you are right now, and I'm in the middle of research. Like, I'm researching my take on this. And this is one thing I love about my work, is like, things I'm saying today are not the same things that I was saying back then. Like, I evolve and I change and I bring you guys with me. And so right now, I'm not sure if I believe people change or that they don't change. But right now, I'm erring on the side that people do not change. We do not change. We cannot change anything about how we were made, how we were molded from our past, and who we are in this present moment. But what we can change is how we respond to the next steps moving forward. And this is why I believe it's not about like, oh, if I could just change and be more like my husband, who it's easy for him to wake up at 5. I'm never going to be like that. If that's the case, because like, let's be honest, what would have changed already that I would have already been able? I have everything sitting in front of me to show me the proof that if I just got up earlier, I would change my life so much quicker because I'd have more time every day. But I hate getting up early in the morning. It's like the hardest thing for me to do, but that's my block. So I'm not going to change. I'm always going to be a not morning person. I'm always going to be able to stay up late at night. He's always going to crash early at night and be able to rise early. But what gets to change is me choosing to get up early. The days that I do choose to get up early are the days that I rock my day and I knock it out the park. So I don't believe people change. I believe we build tools, which today I'm giving you my 10 tools. I can't wait to share them with you. And then we choose to use them or not. And so how I got to this point, and what I believe causes us to change, or to not change, but to choose to be different than we were in the moment before, is either inspiration or desperation. And so a lot of people unfortunately change their eating habits because they go into a desperate diagnosis. They change the way they were showing up in a relationship because they lost a good one. They change the way that they like wear seatbelts when they're driving because they were in a car accident and got injured. That's desperation causing change. Or there's inspiration where you're on a webinar like this and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by what Crystal shared. I'm ready to do this. Or I went to this conference and I got so inspired. Or I read this book, or I heard this woman's story. I don't want that to be me. I don't want to have cancer, so I'm going to change my diet. I don't want to get in a car accident and not live. I'm going to wear my seatbelt. I don't want to lose my marriage, so I'm going to do X, Y, Z. So it's desperation or inspiration. So today we're all about inspiration. I'm asking you guys to just be inspired and choose, because one thing I do know is that your soul is begging to break free of the chains that you have it captive in. It's begging to be on a purposeful path. It's begging to be fulfilled at night and to wake up inspired. But you are stopping it with all of these choices that you're making or not making. And so as my story goes, and I'm going to just share it in a nutshell, I had it all. I literally had it all. I have the husband, the kids, and by the all, I mean like the picture perfect outside looking in, because having it all looks different for everybody. Some people don't want to get married. Some people don't want kids. So you translate my having it all to your having it all. What is your dream life? My dream life was I want to be like a homemaker, but I also want to make money. I want to have a husband who loves me and takes care of me and my kids. I want to be one of I don't want to get a divorce like most of my family members. I want to be a good soccer PTA mom. I want to be successful in my career. Like, I had all those things, but I was mediocre at all of them. And the truth is, my business wasn't making money. My kids were like, Mom, you're never present. You're always here, but you're never here. And the breaking point for me, my health was failing. I was seeing doctors. I was a borderline autoimmune, just fatigue, joint pain, just all the things. And I had everything, but I had nothing really, because I was just like, I was just kind of just going through the motions, and I was perishing in all areas. But the one that brought me to desperation was when my husband looked at me, and I can talk about this more now, and I'm not really going into this because I want to get going into the 10 things. But my breaking point was when he took my ring and he said, I'm done. I'm done with this marriage. I'm done with like treating you like a queen and like putting you on this platter of a pedestal, and you're not shit. Like you literally, you don't speak life into me. You're not present. You don't do laundry. You don't cook. You don't clean. You focus on your business all day. You're not making any money. You're neglecting people. You're disconnected. I mean, I was a shit show, to be completely honest. But the breaking point was like, that's a whole nother story. But like, we had this moment of things that happened, and he was just done. He couldn't do it. And my life, I felt like flashed before my eyes. It woke me up. I had these like vivid, terrible dreams to where I hired like a dream coach and was like, what does this mean? Does this mean he's leaving me? Does this mean that he's got somebody else? Can I mend this? And from that dream, that was like my shaking point when I just was like, I've got to do this. And this was when I set out on working with mentors, with having self-development, with doing all this work. And these are the 10 things that I basically came up with. I believe if you're doing these 10 things, these are the 10 things, because it's like in this rock bottom state of my life, I discovered myself. I had to look inward. In order to go and work with these mentors, they were putting a mirror right in front of me. I had to see where I was not doing where I was not being who I wanted to be. I had to see my weaknesses and see where I got to shift and move forward. And so my motto to you is, if you lose yourself, you lose everything. And so no matter what you're dealing with today, it could be a relationship, it could be parenting, it could be money, it could be I don't have enough time, it could be I don't have like fulfillment, I'm not excited about what I'm doing, I hate my job, whatever it is. We all have that thing. But the answer is yourself. If you don't know who you are, if you're not working on yourself, if you're not learning, growing, failing forward, and developing yourself, then you don't have anything. You're probably being mediocre and like perishing in all those areas that I mentioned. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And when we fix ourselves, everything starts to raise its vibration. Nothing is ever perfect. I'm still a shit show, like, to be honest, but I'm at a different level of my show. It never ends. You're always going to be like a work in progress. So don't strive for perfection. But these 10 things literally saved my marriage. I can tell you, it has just literally saved my marriage. It's improved the way I am with my kids. I am not proud of how I am with my kids. I ask my kids, what would you remember mommy as? Like at this point before I started shifting. And they were like, making us eat healthy and working. That was it. Like there was no memory. I wasn't fun. I wasn't connected. I wasn't taking the time to know my kids. And I'm not proud of that. But because of these principles, I got to reflect and shift. I raised my self-worth, my confidence, how I believe in myself. I saw the people see the shift in me where they were just like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? It was these things. This is what I was doing. And so here we go. We're just going to jump right in. And I want you guys to interact with me. So I love how you're commenting, just so that I know you're engaged. So as what I'm going to go back here, what I want to start with is like, these 10 things are, I read this article and it might have even been in church that I learned this. I don't know. But I heard this recently where they were saying that the human brain, when it sees a list of things, so when you see a list of 10 things, your brain will automatically be like, you know what? The first 3 things are like the most important. I think it was in the book I'm reading, Relentless. And so, after that, you kind of are like, 4, 5, 6 through 10 is like whatever, like as long as I can get through these first couple. So I want you guys to notice that each one of these commandments are labeled number 1 because they're 10 things, but I couldn't pick one that was bigger than the other one. And so I want you to be paying attention because I want you guys to rate yourself. So if you're willing to play with me, when I go to each one, I want you to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. Let's say 1 to 10. On a scale from 1 to 10, how authentic are you being in your life right now? And that way at the end of this, you can, and I want you to write it down, but if you're willing to share with the group just so that we have some engagement, then do that. But I really want you to be writing it down and rating yourself, because what I want you to pay attention to by the end of this is, what areas do I really get to focus on? Because while I labeled 1 through 10 all number 1, because they're all equally important, you are going to have some that you're doing great at and some that you're like, oh, I really get to work on that. So I want you to have this scale for yourself so you can see, where do I get to really dedicate my focus? Because I know the reality is you're not going to go and do all 10 of them right now. So if you're willing to play with me, I want you guys to start rating, how authentic are you being? So what does authentic mean? Why is this a rule of thumb? This is the rule of thumb. I've said this before and I keep sending it into the universe. I want to be like a household name that when people hear the word authentic, they think Crystal David. Crystal David taught me that, because I believe being authentic is the core to your freedom. It's the core to you actually stepping out of autopilot and in. It's the core of you stepping out of autopilot and into this state of, oh my gosh, who really am I? What do I really want? What do you want? What do you really want with your life? Why are you waking up every day and going to that job? Is it because you just want to pay the bills? Or is that not authentic? Do you really desire these amazing vacations? Do you really desire to treat your kids to certain like things like, I don't know, a certain education or a certain lifestyle? Is it really that you're eating out because you're telling yourself you can't afford to eat healthy, but you really want to be eating healthy foods to cater to your body? What do you really want? Be honest and be authentic with what is your truth. What do you want to be known for? What is your legacy? What do you really, when you think about your life, if you were to fast forward to your deathbed and people are writing your, I forget what it's called, like your obituary, but then also like what's written on your tombstone, what do you want to be remembered for? Are you doing that right now? So rate yourself, somebody, please, on a scale from 1 to 10, how honest are you? So literally, to how you're living today, the job you're doing, how you're making money, the way you're parenting, the way you're showing up for yourself, the way you're showing up for your relationships, the way your money looks, all of the things in your life. On a scale from 1 to 10, how are they lining up to what you truly, truly want? And maybe you're saying you don't know. And so this is like where the work that I do, the programs that I have, the identity guide, some of you guys have maybe done that before. What do you really want? Diving into your vision. This is why, I do all that. So nobody's rating themselves. That's okay. So that to me is saying you get to have work in 5, maybe less, but 5 for sure. I love it. Okay. So good. So it's like, and I could see Ashley, because we've been working together. So it's like you're showing up, you're here, you're there. So now it's just you getting like solid in your power. So I love that. So thank you for sharing. So the second one is, thou shalt have a clear vision for their life. And here's the thing, you guys. This is why I teach the vision boards. This is why when I start my programs, I start with the vision board. It's like, if you don't know what you want, so first you got to get honest, because we will create visions and we will say we want to be a lawyer or a doctor and we want to live in this house and we want this, but really we don't want to be a lawyer or a doctor. We want to open up a bakery, or we want to, do soul work, but our parents wouldn't be okay with that, or our lifestyle wouldn't match up to that. So I can't do that because I need to make more money. Be authentic. But then second, you got to know what you want. So once you get honest, I think that's what comes first, is getting real and really going into your core of what you want. Then you get to set the vision of, what do I want? Okay, now let me break that into goals and things that I'm going to accomplish and that I'm going to go chase after. Because fulfillment is where life happens. It's when it's not reaching the goal. It's not getting the house, getting the job, getting the this, getting the that, having the money. It's who you become on the journey of that. And so when you set vision for your life, this is why it's biblical. He who has no vision will perish. Because if you are just aimlessly out here like surviving, you're going to perish. You're not going to have fulfillment of like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that I could accomplish that. I didn't realize that I could actually put an event on the calendar and people would show up. I didn't realize that if I asked for a raise, I would get it. I didn't realize that if I just killed my ego a little bit, I'd be able to like have a smoother communication style with my significant other. It's the act of realizing our power and our potential that life gets really sweet. So if you don't have vision, then you're just out here on autopilot. Authenticity, about an 8 in my personal life and 6 in my professional. Got to keep a lot of progressive views to myself. Yeah, I gotcha. I got it. So cool. So so you got your vision. So we're going to go to the next one. So thou shalt heal from your past trauma. And I'm realizing that I pulled up the slide, dang it, that it's like, so this was supposed to be, I edited it earlier, but I must not have saved it. But this one should be, thou shalt identify blocks and triggers and heal from past trauma. That's all one. Because what I realized was it's the blocks and the triggers that identify what the trauma is. And so whatever your block and trigger is, whatever your, so this is one, because there's going to be one at the end that's probably not in here, but I added it. So just bear with me here. But whatever, so this is one thing that you get to realize. There's no such thing as good, bad, right, or wrong. And I'm learning this so deeply right now because I have one of my, like, I was about to say negative characteristics, but one of my characteristics is self-righteousness. I'm always right. So like when I argue with my husband, he stands no chance because I am like, it's my way or the highway. When I'm like, I have good intentions. So when I see something, that's what it is. And I'm going to go until the grave and fight for my point of view. That it's a and so here's what I mean by there's no good, bad, right, or wrong, because that serves me well. That's why I love sales. That's why I'm good at sales. That's why I'm good at promoting, because when I see something, I'm like, oh yes, that's it. But it also can be the curse side when I'm like, oh yes, my point of view is it and yours doesn't matter. So in a relationship, that doesn't work very well because then I'm not seeing the other person's point of view. And I bring that up to say that when I'm triggered by something, I get to see like, oh, that was because I was being self-righteous right then. That's why I got upset, because he was giving me a perspective that wasn't my own, and I can't see past my own perspective sometimes. And so now that I identified that, and I'm able to then see, well, where did that come from? And now I know from 0 to 8 years old is where all of our habits and mindsets and subconscious principles come from. So everything that you're operating out of now, your money relationship, your self-worth conversation, your confidence, the way you, can anyone relate to starting something but you don't finish? There's no follow through. There's no commitment. There's no trust. You don't trust yourself. So I'm not going to go invest money with a mentor because I would then have to do the work and I don't trust myself to do the work. So all these little things, whenever something triggers you, good or bad, and right or wrong, negative or positive, there is no such thing. Negative and positive are the same thing. So when you think of a battery, they're on both ends, yin and yang. This is why I've realized that it's like, so the analogy that you've probably heard me give, but that I share is like the 9/11. It's like, when 9/11 happened, it was tragic. It was negative. It was bad, we would say. But for the people who did it intentionally, it was a win. That was a positive execution on their part. And so it's the realization that everything that happens for us in our life is not good, bad, right, or wrong. It's, what does this have to do with me? There's so many things that are neutral. There's so many things that you're not even fazed by because you don't have a trigger or a block to that. You don't have any past trauma that's linked to that. But what you get to learn is whenever you're triggered, negative, positive, good, bad, right, or wrong, you get to ask yourself, why am I right about this? Why am I wrong about this? Why is this good? Why is this bad? And then remind yourself there is no such thing as right, wrong, good, bad. So then you get to just play neutral and say, what do I get to learn from this? How did I create this? Who do I get to be to meet this other person on the other end of what they said? Because maybe what they said, and this is so I'm going to give you an example. When I learned this a few years ago, it's like, when somebody triggers you and says something like, like about your parenting. I don't have an exact example that's happened to me, but let's just say somebody said something, like, let's just say you're scrolling through Instagram and someone writes something about like moms who, leave their kids before the age of 2 should really question like if they're really good moms or not. That would trigger the crap out of me. Well, why does that trigger me? I realize it's triggered me because my mom guilt, my mom shame came from, I have no problem leaving my kids before the age of 2. I could leave my kids at 2 weeks. As long as I know that they're with my husband or my mother-in-law or my mom, and they've got their, I left one of my babies at 2 weeks because I had a friend's wedding. It was down the street. I think it was her birthday. Her birthday's on the 17th and my daughter was born on the 11th. So she was like 6 days old. She was celebrating down the street from my house. So I fed her, I put her down, and then I went out for an hour with my friends to celebrate her birthday. But that would have triggered me because I felt guilty about that. Like there was people there was like, didn't you just have a baby? Why are you here? And I was like, because it was convenient. The baby was sleeping. I wanted to see you guys. Like it was, that was my authentic truth. But I'm sharing that as an example to say it would have triggered me because my trauma, my trigger, my block is shame around when you should or shouldn't leave your child, right? So now that I've embraced owning the way I parent and knowing that I am right for my children and it is what it is, now I don't have the same baggage and I don't get triggered when people make judgmental claims about parenting. It doesn't trigger me because I'm okay with who I am. So it's like your blocks and your triggers are a trail to healing. That's all there is to that. So you could rate yourself in those areas. So I'm going to just take this question. What about when you walk away and then realize you were wrong and go to apologize? Now your significant other doesn't want to hear the apology. We must deal with our triggers to avoid having to apologize. So when it comes to here's the thing, and we're going to get into this. So I'm going to address that when I get to one of the commandments, because there's actually a commandment that speaks into that. So how do you deal with what other people do say or react to you? So the next one is thou shalt constantly take part in self-development and evolve. So I've kind of already been saying this, but this is like where you don't know what you don't know. So and I believe that God answers our prayers from other people. He brings people in our path because they've been down the same path that we've been down, and we get to learn from their mistakes and be like, oh, dang, I don't want to do that next time. Like I learned something recently in my marriage from another person in a relationship, but I was like, oh my God, thank you for that. Because I was going to react this way, but now I get to do it this way. Thank you. I didn't see it that way, but it's because I'm committed and open to learning from other perspectives. And also because outside looking in is really beneficial, because when you're in something, you're so emotionally invested that it's hard to see clearly sometimes. So constantly evolve and take part in self-development. And so this is the one that this is the commandment that I was saying. I will speak into how do you react to other people. This is one of the biggest things that I hear when I work with people. I had a girl who was just in our last wave of the Fox Project, and she was sharing how, sorry, I was just, the chat ended. So she was sharing how her husband asked her, like, have you done your Fox Project work now? Because he was so grateful for the work we did, because she started taking responsibility for herself. And so here's what you get to do when you're so remember what I said in the beginning, when you change, people change. When you change, things change. So be the change you want to see. We all kind of know that saying, that quote. You have to think about that. So when I have people I work with who are looking for relationships, I will tell them the first thing you get to do is take responsibility for what you want in another person. So I'll have them make a vision board of that person that they're wanting. I want him to be faithful. I want him to be God-fearing. I want him to be consistent. I want him to be driven. I want him to be blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Now you get to be all those things. Take responsibility for what you're asking for, because you create everything in your life. So everything that's happening in your life right now, your finances, your kids being rebellious or acting out, your significant other like butting up against you, your friends betraying you, whatever you're up against in your life, you created that. So you get to take full responsibility and say, how did I create this? And I have so many examples. I actually one day would love to go through my program, because when I'm teaching this in the Fox Project, I will give like concrete examples. First time I can't go into it, but it's like I want to pull those out and like have like a YouTube of just like my examples of responsibility. But it's like I'll give you a quick glimpse of one just for sake of example, but not going in depth. When my babysitter quit, I've had her for 7 years. 7 years. And when she quit on me out of the blue, I felt betrayed. I felt angry. Oh, how dare she just leave? And I wasn't bad mouthing her, but I was just like, because I loved her and she didn't leave in like a bad way. It was more of like, oh my God, how could this be? Like, why? Like, why would she do that? Oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. And now I have to go find someone and blah, 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 blah. How did I create this? When I took responsibility, I got to see all the areas where I could have done different. Do you know I never gave her a raise in 7 years? Imagine working in a job and not getting a raise for 7 years. Do you know that I never gave her a birthday present or a Christmas gift or a thank you card for watching my kids? She's watched all of my kids since my second one was a baby. So 4 of my kids, she's watched as they were babies, and I've never given her anything of appreciation. Do you know that like there was so many levels that I was like, oh my God, like and she didn't leave because of any of that. But I guarantee, because I learned this from my mentor, she was teaching that your emotional intelligence is a reflection of every like abundance in your life. And so I have very low emotional intelligence because I was so disconnected in so many areas of my life, working on autopilot. And this is why I'm teaching you guys, get out of autopilot, because when you're on autopilot, you don't get to see what's happening around you. You don't get to connect with the people around you. And so when I connected with that, if I would have just dropped in a little bit deeper and had some emotional intelligence, I would have known her birthday. To this moment, I don't even know her birthday. So she probably has watched my kids on her birthday and I just didn't even know it. That's emotional intelligence. So what did I get to create? Why did I create that? I got to learn how to be a better human because I'm asking the universe, I'm asking God in my prayers, God, you show me where I don't know myself, where I need to learn better. You show me where I get to be a better human in my relationships, in my parenting, in my business, in every area of my life, in my faith. And that's what happened from that. So you get to take responsibility, and it's not good, it's not bad, it's not right, it's not wrong. So when it comes to that other person, they're just as responsible as well, but you can only do your part. So you get to be love if you want to get love. If you want that person to accept your apology, then you get to be apologetic and do your part. And then you get to show them that you mean business. And if they don't accept that, then they're not meeting you where you're at. And it's just when you level up and you get in alignment, things fall off. And so maybe that just isn't meant to be. And maybe that happened to you because you needed that lesson that you just got, which not to do whatever it was that you were wrong about. So that's the part of life that like true love takes risk of getting hurt. You have to fully get in. Same thing with like in this situation, it's like you have to risk losing someone to live your fullest life because you're going to fail. You're going to learn lessons along the way. And so you just have to be open to that. So taking 100% responsibility means no shame, no blame, no comparison, and no it's just no outward focus. It's no why me. It's no victim mentality. It's no this person. I would have been on time, but traffic. No. Well, you go back and track, and what did you do? Usually for me, I'll say it was the traffic, but it was actually that I sat on the toilet and was on Instagram for 10 extra minutes that I didn't need to be on Instagram. So I could have left earlier. So you always, when you start this one right here, and this is why they're all one, because I feel the same about being authentic as I do being responsible and having vision. Like when you start taking responsibility for your life is like, whoa, like where has this been? So the next one is thou shalt have a village. You cannot do it all by yourself. You can have it all, but you cannot do it all. And so you get to create an environment where there's people helping you. I like to teach women I work with how to set their life up like a business. delegate roles, enlist your kids to help you if you have kids, ask your significant other for help. I never realized my husband could do any domestic duties until I just said, surrendered to my high horse of I have to do everything and just ask for help. My mother-in-law helps. I have babysitters. I have people who help me cook, clean, watch my kids, help me, like my business. You cannot do it alone. So start working on a village. And if money is the reason why I can't afford a babysitter, then take responsibility and go create that. Put that on your vision board. Get honest with yourself. I need help. So how do I get to find it? So thou shalt practice gratitude. This just goes back to what I was talking about earlier of just bringing your thoughts back to, like, even with responsibility, it's like, yeah, my babysitter quit on me, but I'm so grateful that I had the time with her. And, like on the responsibility gratitude note, I had a chef in the same week who quit on me, and I was but with her, I like cussed her out. How dare you? Because of the way she did it. I was being self-righteous. Like, you should have quit like this. You should have gave me a notice. You shouldn't have did it like this. One thing that you'll learn, but that I teach in the Fox Project is words that you get to take out of your vocabulary, and should is one of them. The moment you should have did, people didn't should have done anything. You should never tell someone what they should do. And so what I learned from that was after I blew up, then I apologized. And I said, you know what? I'm so sorry. I was being self-righteous. I was just focusing on what you did wrong to me, and I wasn't focused on your point of view. And I apologized. And you know what she told me? She said, I just didn't think I was a good fit for you guys. I never heard any positive feedback. I didn't show her that I was grateful. What I could have done in that situation was said, oh my gosh, I'm so upset that you're quitting. I really could use your help right now. But I support you and what you're doing. And I'm so grateful for the time I've had with you. I've loved how you've cooked for us. I've loved that I've gotten to free up hours in my day, not cooking, not grocery shopping. Thank you so much for the time. You know what would have happened if I did that? Because she told me, she would have been like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that you like appreciated what I was doing and you're happy. I'll stay. But instead I cussed her out and she left. So we get to have gratitude. We get to say, oh, you're quitting on me. Oh, you're leaving me. Oh, you're going to do me wrong. Thank you. Thank you for showing me an opportunity to be better. What could I have done differently? You're leaving me. What could I have done differently to be a better significant other to you? Before you go, please give me that gift, because I'm grateful for our time together. Imagine approaching life like that. Imagine how much you'll soften the walls, and you'll let go of your ego and your pride, and you'll open up space for maybe improvement. And maybe they won't leave you because they're not looking at the monstrous, self-righteous, egoistical person. They're looking at the grateful person. Sometimes gratitude is all we need. Gratitude has changed my life. It has saved my marriage. Pointing out what I'm grateful for in my husband and not what he's not doing. Not looking at the gap, but focusing on what he is doing. Because what he is doing is amazing. And it's more than I would have if I didn't have him. So, yes, thank you for showing me the opportunity to be better. So, thou shalt refrain from comparison and shift into your own unique inner beauty. We all, 1 Peter 4:10, we all have gifts. We all have things that God created us uniquely to be doing. And if you're not shifting into that, if you're not being that, you're not doing what God called you to do. And so the one thing I want to leave you with, if you take anything, not the one, but one of the main things I want you guys to take from today is, we are not here to have a good relationship, to be a good parent, to go get that title at work, to get a raise, to get the house in order, to have our bills and be organized and be on time. Those are great. But it's just the same as in the Bible. Our like good works are dead if we are not in our purpose. Like, our purpose is to show up every day and be who God called us to be. And God, if you get really biblical, our only purpose is to win souls to the kingdom. It's to share the love of Jesus. It's to be an example of Jesus and to bring people to Christ. So if you want to go there, I believe the only way to do that is to stop comparing yourself to other people and to start looking into, what did God give me? What did he give me? Because if you're going to spend your whole life, like, I had to tell myself, like, if you're going to spend your time looking at all the women that you're not as pretty as and the bodies that you don't have as good as, that is not what life is about. You're going to rob the assignment that is on your life, because God gave you your own gift. Some women, their gift is they're drop dead gorgeous to every person on the planet. They just like, they can't deny their beauty. That's part of their gift. Great. I hope they're using it for God's will. But some people's gift is the gift of voice, the gift of talent, the gift of service, we all have our own unique gifts. So stop comparing yourself and lock into what did God call for you to be doing well. And this is where I really encourage you to go through my identity guide. It's a free download that I have if you haven't already done it, and really start asking, what do I want? What does God want of me? And tap into that. And thou shalt give that gift to the world. This is the one that it's like, if you're not aware of what your uniqueness is and standing strong in that, not comparing yourself and looking outward, but getting inward and then giving it away, generosity and service is the core to humanity. It's what sets our life on fire. The human mind needs three things. It needs survival, growth, and contribution. So if you're not failing forward and growing as a human and then showing up to give that back and pay it forward, you're not living. You're just simply not living. And so to give your gifts to the world is where life comes. And it's where, like, the reason why this was one of the commandments that saved my marriage was because I didn't have time anymore to focus on what is my husband doing when he's not in the house. What is he not doing when he's in the house? What is he, like, what girl is liking his post? Who is he following? Like, blah, 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 going through his phone, like doing all this stuff. I was sick and toxic, and I was ruining my marriage because my husband was being faithful, and I was focusing on the gaps instead of focusing on, now I'm focusing on my gift and I'm giving it away, and I'm so much more light. My husband is excited to come home to me because I'm excited. Oh my gosh, this is what happened today. I'm going to be on TV. I talked to this girl and she said that her marriage is better because she worked with me. This one girl, look at this post she sent to me. Oh my God, like, I'm so grateful and I'm fulfilled because I'm paying forward. I'm giving my gift, and it's changing people's lives because of it. So I'm fulfilled, and being in my power allows my husband to be relieved of the pressure that he's responsible for my happiness, because he's not. He is not responsible for my happiness. I am. And so this last commandment, like I said, isn't going to be in here, but it is the 10th one, but it's the, like I said, most equal, is thou shalt, and it's not on here, like I said, because my assistant who made this, I sent her the notes. I thought I did it. I didn't. I'm using hers and not mine, whatever. But is thou shalt step out on faith. You shall commit to this life of being a better version of yourself, giving away your gifts, being responsible, being authentic. You shall commit and have faith in God. And I put in your higher power, if you're not a God-fearing believer, part of my mission is to get people to know God. But you get to, like, nothing is possible. You will never have the finances for your next level. You will never have the skills on your own right for the next level. Wherever you're headed next, you don't have it alone. You don't have it without a village, and you don't have it without God. So you have to step out on faith. This is why if you work with me, if you're someone who's like, I want to do your program, but I don't have the finances, I'll tell you, great. Book it and the finances will come. If you're someone who says, I want to go to that conference, but I don't know how I'm going to afford, the hotel, or I don't know how I'm going to get a babysitter, book your airline ticket, get your ticket to that event, and I promise you your babysitter will show up and everything will fall in line. You have to commit before things will come forward. It's just the law of the world. It's the way that things work. You want to call it energy, you want to call it universe, or you want to go to the Bible. It's biblical that you have to have faith of a mustard seed, and God will use that to open up doors. But without faith and commitment, faith is commitment, in my opinion. Faith is saying, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared a little bit. I might fail, but I'm okay. I trust you, God. My faith is in you. And this is why my motto is God's got me. That motto has carried me through my life, because whenever I get scared, whenever I get angry, whenever I get insecure, whenever I get I self-doubt, I doubt myself, I don't trust myself, I say, God's got me. He's the one who knows the answers. He's the one who's going to open the doors. He's the one who's going to keep the path opening up as I keep taking steps. So thou shalt take steps and move forward. And so those are the 10 commandments that I believe every human being should be living to live their best life. And I want to end that on the note that knowledge is not power unless you apply it. So what I want you to do, like I was trying to keep up with the chat. I didn't remember to keep asking you to rate yourself, but I hope you will go back and rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. How do you rate in all of those things? What do you get to work on? And remember, if you're a 10 in any of them, you're lying to yourself, because we're never going to be fully there. We're always going to be working on this. So really rate yourself, and then know that they're all equal. So we get to work on all of them, but just pay attention to which ones you really get to lean into, like the most. And at this point, I am going to invite you to our next wave of the Fox Project. So if you've got to go, it's 1 o'clock. You can hop off. But if you'd like to hear about our community where we hold each other accountable, if you want to hear about the next wave of the Fox Project, stay on, listen, and see if it's for you. And then you can move forward from there. But knowledge isn't power until it's applied. And so what I have found in my teaching and working with women is that people will know what, like, you have all the answers within you. It's the actual accountability and application that is where things actually happen for you. And so what the Fox Project is the Fox Project is the movement and community that I created so that I could be a vessel for women who are looking for that container, that safe place to heal, identify their blocks and triggers, and step in. You're welcome. Step into their triggers and step into their vision and what is it that they really want. So we identify, what do you want? Because I feel like when you see your bigger picture, your higher self, when you, like, the first thing we do is we step into, what do you want? What do you really want? And we navigate those questions of, who are you? What are the gifts that are called in your life? What do you really want in your life? And then we set this vision, and then we start to map out what's blocking you from that, what tools and skills do you need to get to that next level, and what things you get to eliminate to remove the barriers. And so this program was created as this vessel for me to be able to be that person for you to step into identifying these things and navigating the process together with community. And so it's a program. It's 6 weeks. It's basically it's September, October, and every week we have a live call like this on Zoom where we so you'll have a module system where you have your training, you do exercises. So I have an exercise that will teach you how to identify triggers, how to identify blocks, how to identify what you want, what your vision is, what your passion is. And from there, then how to navigate that and to step into your power and to actually create the life that's on your vision. And so you'll do the modules, you'll do the exercises, and then the live calls is where we'll coach and we'll actually hands-on maneuver through that. And then we also use what's called Voxer, which is kind of like a WhatsApp system, but it's basically where you have like it's like walkie-talkie. So you're talking to me, you're like, Crystal, I struggled on this module, on this exercise, this is what block came up for me, and then we'll navigate and coach through that. So it's live calls, and then the walkie-talkie feature, and then we have the Facebook group as well. And so it's like, if you're in the inner circle right now, because I have my membership program, which is ever going. Every month we have a different theme where we're talking about money, sex, relationships, and self-love, all the things. And it's like, that's more of community-based learning, and we're just like evolving our minds, sticking to that self-development. The Fox Project is my signature program. I do it 3 times a year. So this is our 3rd and final one for this year. And it might even be the last one, because I might transition this only to live events. I might turn this into a retreat. I'm not sure. I probably won't, for the simple fact that I can reach more lives doing it virtually, but it definitely is going to be a retreat. So there will be a retreat aspect, but I just am not sure yet if I'll eliminate the program and only do the signature program live and then have my membership always going online. So, this might be the last wave. I don't know yet, but it's basically, this is the last one of this year. And so as a bonus, as a gift for you guys for coming today, for hanging with me, I'm also going to add a private one-on-one. So you get the walkie-talkie, that's one-on-one, but it's not a call. So it's back and forth. You're getting the live calls, but then you also will get the one-on-one call with me that's offline, just us. And it's like, we really can dive deeper. Then you're going to also get my identity guide, which some of you guys might already have that. If not, you'll get that as well. You'll have my Brand Me program, which when I sold it, I don't do it anymore, but when I sold it, it was a $1,500 program. You're getting it for free. And it's all about how to start your business from idea to start. How to identify what is your business, what do you want, what are you doing in the world, and then how to create a buying audience around that. The reason why I don't sell anymore is because I don't want to be a business expert. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. I've had a business mentor for a number of years. So I know a lot, I can teach a lot, but it's just that, it's teaching. I'm not as passion driven. That's not my main focus. And so I just don't want to split my efforts. So I'm literally just gifting that program that I did. And you get to have that. And it's an amazing program. My assistant actually thinks I should be selling it still, but I'm just like, I want to stay focused on, like, I'm really passionate about waking women up to their potential and getting them on the path of their best life. And then I've been talking about this event, the Zone event. If you're watching this after September as just like the masterclass, because I don't know if we'll use this evergreen, then this is irrelevant. But for you guys right here, right now, you'll get a ticket to the Zone event, which is $197. It's in Palm Springs. It's a 3-day business retreat. I will throw that in. So I'm basically going to be taking off $197 from what you're paying if you want to get that. So that's like an added bonus. And then exclusive access to the Keep the Spark Alive. So if you're in a relationship, you'll love that series. It's 24 experts who share their tips on how they keep their relationship up. Love it. Still to this day, get phenomenal reviews on it. And so all of this you'll get as a bonus for today. So all you got to do is, I'm only taking 8 more people. I'm only taking 10 people. When I did we're on the 4th wave of the Fox Project. When I did my first wave of the Fox Project, I had 40 some people. And now each time as I get better serving the women and seeing what they need and how we work together to get breakthroughs, I found that I don't have the capacity to really go deep with 40 some women at a time. So now I only am taking 10 women, and there's already 2 signed up. So there's 8 spots left. So what I'm doing is instead of just opening it up for everyone to sign up, there's only 8 spots. So I'm taking it by phone call. I really want to talk to you. I want to hear where you're at, what you want, why you're interested, and then see if you would be a good fit for this program. And so I invite you to book a call. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to end my share, and I'm going to text in the chat a link to my calendar. And what you can do is schedule a call with me. And then we start September 11th. So I would schedule the call like ASAP. And then I would, hold on, I have to get to everyone. So I would schedule a call. Let's talk. Let's see if you're a fit for the program. See if this is something that you're ready and willing to commit to, because I want people to come through my program and get results. I want you to come in and show up. I every single time have people who will pay. Money is not enough. Money is not a reason. Like when people tell me they can't afford something, I'm just like, okay, I know you just don't see the value. Sorry, they just don't see the value. But when excuse me, but money is, and the reason why I know that is because people will pay to do the program and then they still won't show up. And so it's like, you really get to be committed. I want people who are committed to saying, yes, I am going to show up. I'm going to do the exercises. I'm going to do the work. It's not easy work. It's not easy looking in the mirror and seeing where you like, oh, dang, I never realized that I was showing up that way. I never realized that I was being selfish or self-righteous or ego. My ego was running everything I did. I never knew how disconnected I was. So you get to be honest with yourself, and that's not easy all the time. And so being vulnerable is not easy. And so when I want to really hear from you. I want to hear your story. I want to hear why you're interested, and then I want to connect with you and invite you to join us in this next wave. I'm so excited about it. I just finished a leadership training that leveled up my expertise in this work, and so I'm so excited to really infuse some of the things that I've learned that weren't done in the past waves because I didn't have those skills. And so it's just going to be really, really phenomenal and transformational. And so if that's you, the link is here. You can also get in touch with me via email or whatever if you have questions, but go to the link, schedule your call. Let's get on the call ASAP, because again, we start September 11th, and let's see if you're a fit to join us. And I would love, love, love to have you. And so all you have to do is remember, when you do book your call, when we talk, to remind me if you do decide to move forward that you were on the masterclass, and that will activate those bonuses that I promised, which were the ticket to the zone event, the Keep the Spark Alive series, and the identity guide, as well as the one-on-one call. And Brand Me. Brand Me in itself is Brand Me actually costs more than what the Fox Project costs, but that was just because I was like, it's business. I'm going to help people make money. Like, I can charge way higher, but I'm going to just charge this $1,500. So it's way more than what the Fox Project costs, and you're getting that for free, just because I want to be generous, and I don't teach that right now. So it's yours. So I am so grateful for you guys spending this time with me. My hope is that you guys took these 10 things and you're going to go apply them. And my invitation is that you come. No, it's not $4,000. That was the value of everything. It's not $4,000. That's just the value of, because like I said, you're getting the $1,500, the $1,500 worth of Brand Me. You're getting the $200 worth of the program. You're getting all these different things. So no, it's not even $1,000. So yes, message me, book your call, and let's see if you're a fit for this program. And I was gonna say something else, but then I got sidetracked. But yeah, so I hope to see you there, and I appreciate you guys for your time. Have a good one. Bye.